Well, San Francisco was once one of the most beautiful cities in the United States of America, and I'm not making that up. And I don't mean this is ancient history either. Most of my life, people would tell me about San Francisco. I finally got a chance to visit San Francisco. The food is wonderful, the rolling hills, the Golden Gate Bridge, the fog, it's beautiful. Well, apparently now you better be standing on top of one of the hills, because if you're at the bottom, you're going to get hit with somebody's poop as it rolls down. Well, not content with just destroying the city every once in a while or just briefly, they now have elected as their new district attorney, Chesa Boudin, well, you know what? Let him explain.
When I was an infant, my parents left me at the babysitter. They never came back. That day, they drove the getaway car in a tragic armed robbery. My mother ended up serving 22 years in prison. My father may never get out. My earliest memories are visits to my parents in prison, just to give them a hug. Years of walking through steel gates taught me how profoundly broken our criminal justice system is.
That's what it taught you? That the criminal justice system is wait, what? His parents murdered people. That's in a tragic armored car. It made it sound like his parents slipped in front of an armored car. His parents murdered people. And the lesson you took from that is we need criminal justice reform? Wait, what? What? And look, I'm not holding his parents' crimes against him. I mean, Lord knows we all don't need that. I've got enough problems of my own. I don't need my parents heaped on me as well. But the way people frame things, in a tragic honor, all right, be that as it may. Of course, Bernie Sanders came right out and parroted the company line with this and said, Chesa Boudin, now this is the moment to fundamentally transform our racist and broken criminal justice system by ending mass incarceration, the failed war on drugs, and the criminalization of poverty. Congrats on your historic victory. Bernie Sanders must be the first socialist in history who doesn't favor mass incarceration because all the rest of them locked people up, the ones they didn't shoot in the back of the head. Look, you remember back in New York in the 90s? You remember what Rudy Giuliani did? He was famous for this. It was called the broken window policy or broken window policing, and here was the idea behind it. Essentially, if you're in a neighborhood, say you're in a crappy neighborhood, and you see a broken window, and the broken window doesn't get itself fixed, well, it does something to your mind. It reminds you, I'm in a crappy neighborhood. This place sucks. I might as well break a bottle. Might as well shoplift. Might as well steal somebody's bike. Might as well do drugs. However, if the broken window gets fixed right away, well, then everything will be fine. Because in your mind, I live in a good place that must be maintained. You see this idea everywhere. You see this idea in restaurants and public places. You want to go to a place where there's litter all over? What will you find? Very few trash cans. The major restaurants, the major theme parks, what have they done? They put a trash can every 50 feet. Why? They're letting you know this is a clean place. It's in your mind. I just came from the Columbus Zoo a couple weeks ago. Don't ask, I get dragged to zoos all over the country. There was a trash can every 25 feet. I never saw a piece of litter. They do that for you mentally. It's not just a physical thing. Mentally, you think to yourself, oh, I should treat this place nice. When's the last time you walk into a really dumpy gas station public restroom? Graffiti all over the place, yucky smells and everything. Are you inclined to take extra great care of that restroom? No. Maybe you do because you're a polite person, but you're not inclined to do so. However, exactly the opposite. You walk in some sparkling public restroom, are you going to leave that paper towel laying on the floor because you missed the trash can? Probably not. You're going to bend over and pick it up. The thing is, the whole point on all this is little things lead to big things. It's the truth. We don't like to admit that, but the great saying I heard one time is how you do anything is how you do everything. You see, Chesa Boudin has immediately said, we're not going to punish anybody who pees on the streets and the sidewalk. Go ahead. Just pee wherever you feel like it. It's a free country now. And of course, this sounds compassionate. And all the flower child San Francisco hippies are, oh, that's a good call. That's good. You know, I have to pee right now. I'm just going to go in my pants. but that's not a good idea. Why? San Francisco already has a major problem with needles, with crazy homeless people. You see this all over the country. Washington, D.C. is struggling with it. L.A. is struggling with it. New York is struggling with it. What do all these places have in common? I'll give you a second. They're all run by radical leftists who do things based on what they call compassion. Is it compassionate to let American cities rot like this? Is it compassionate to have everybody who gets on a subway in one of these major cities think to themselves, wow, I hope none of these drugged out lunatics do something terrible on this thing today? It's happening in American cities as we speak. Why? Because of that horrible thing called compassion. Don't get me wrong, you should be compassionate in your daily life. Be nice to your spouse, be nice to your kids, be nice to the people you meet. If you're a government official, though, you are under no obligation to allow anything and everything to happen in your city for compassionate reasons. It goes clear back to what we were talking about immigration. You see these people who want open borders, who want the country just, bring anybody in. It's fine. Look, they just want jobs. Quit being mean to them. You have standards for everything in your life you actually care about if you're being honest. Well, I want open borders. We should be compassionate. Really? You get a ring on your door tonight while you're sitting around having dinner with the family? You go over to the door, it's some grungy-looking guy, looks kind of drunk or drugged out, smells real bad. He says, hey, I'd like to come in and sleep there tonight. What are you doing? What do you do in that situation? No, thanks, goodbye. Why? Because you have standards for your home. Don't you think you should have standards for your country?